Tyler really the Klingon Volk? You'll find out right after this. Hey everybody, I am Taylor from Beard vs. Geek, where I show you it is okay to be a man and a geek at the same time. Today we are going to warp speed and we are going into Star Trek Discovery, that new show that's pissing off a lot of people, primarily with its Klingons and technology. Well, today we're talking about both, and we're talking about the fan theory of Volk being Lieutenant Tyler. Now, we see Volk in the first 3 episodes of Star Trek Discovery Season 1, where he is a Klingon in, well, let's face it, a bat-crap crazy religious sect of the Klingons who want to bring all the Klingons together. And he was actually the torch-bearer, which is an extremely esteemed position, one that requires it to be a Klingon of noble birth, which Volk is not, since he is the son of none. At the very end of Episode 3, Season 1 of Star Trek Discovery, we find out that Volk is, well, on a ship in the middle of a graveyard battlefield, left there to die. However, we do know that his fanatical girlfriend, maybe, ended up living, and that she had a plan to get Volk not only to kill Cole, but to unite the Klingon Empire. Long story short, she explained that this plan would be extremely difficult, and that Volk would have to sacrifice everything. Later on, we find out that Volk's girlfriend, for lack of a better term, was descended from a bunch of spies. Now, we do know in Star Trek that there is a long history of people performing espionage, and different ways of performing espionage. One of them is by the extreme use of plastic surgery. Plastic surgery is the ability to alter a person's physical appearance by adding or taking away different parts and inserting different fake implants. As we see in Star Trek the original series, the Trouble with Triples episode, where a Klingon spy who looked and acted and was, for all intents and purposes, human, was in fact Klingon. And the only way that was discovered is by a Tribble, letting the humans know that that person was not cool, and then finally a scan revealed that the person was actually Klingon. In Star Trek Voyager, we find out that Seska is actually a Cardassian who pretended to be a Bajoran in order to infiltrate the Maquis, and in Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Kira Nerys is turned into a Cardassian, and the Cardassian is turned into another Cardassian, and there's a whole thing. Volk, who would absolutely do anything to defeat Cole and to unite the Empire under his messiah, would basically be willing to sacrifice anything. In fact, he was willing to sacrifice his entire crew by not having them eat in order to maintain their principles and their beliefs. Therefore, it is possible that Volk would have the determination in order to undergo plastic surgery to look human and train to be human in order to go into the Federation and spy on them and learn of some means in order to unite the Klingon Empire and to defeat the humans all with one blow. The very next episode, we are introduced to Lieutenant Tyler. Well, Lieutenant Tyler was stuck in a Klingon prison cell for 7 months until he met Lorca, and they escaped together and killed a bunch of Klingons and wounded the Volk's girlfriend captain thing, and we find out that she was actually in charge of that ship, and he became a trusted source. And that very episode, he was invited to be the new security officer on board Discovery, which is the most kick-ass ship in the fleet, apparently, and has a bunch of classified technology, including the Spore Drive and a bunch of other stuff. Go see the video on Section 31 in Discovery for more details. If you are still not convinced, as Lieutenant Tyler is getting to know Michael Burnham and is establishing himself as a member of the crew of Discovery, he has a lot of slip-ups. And in Episode 8, while he and Michael are talking, you find out that the guy really does not know Starfleet protocol, and he is not really able to express it very well. He is able to express a wonderful fishing trip going for trout outside of Seattle, which is a very generic thing and can be picked up by any sort of leftover Starfleet human after the Battle of the Twin Stars, and pulled off some wreckage and tortured until he gives you that story and tells you all sorts of information about how to behave like a Starfleet officer, but he would not be able to convey 4 plus years of training in order to be a Starfleet officer to Volk. Therefore, Volk would have absences in his knowledge of the Federation and on being human. And that is one example of how Volk potentially screwed up, if in fact he is Lieutenant Tyler. Another indication that Lieutenant Tyler was not who he seems was when he was duking it out with Lorca on the holodeck, for lack of a better term, and shooting a whole bunch of fake Klingons. Lorca was really proud of himself for killing as many Klingons as he did, and when he asked Lieutenant Tyler, he said he gave a lower number when really it was like a dozen more than the captain. The captain is a badass and has been fighting, has a very militaristic mindset, and has been training to kill Klingons ever since he probably found out that they existed. And more Section 31 video, really go check that out at the end of this one. Now also Lieutenant Tyler, if in fact he is Volk in human form, he had been training how to kill Klingons ever since he was born, and therefore would do better than any human at a game of killing fake Klingons. Bringing this into the real world, the whole Volk into Lieutenant Tyler theory actually becomes more and more prevalent. You see, the person playing Lieutenant Tyler was contracted for 15 episodes. And in fact, he is listed in the main credits of every single episode of Star Trek, which you have to be a main character in order to do that. You have to show up in every or near every single episode in order to earn that right in the Hollywood game. We also know that the rest of his main character castmates, the guy who plays Michael, the guy who plays Lorca, the rest of the big characters, those people are also contracted for 15 episodes. And it would make sense that all of them would appear in 15 episodes in order for the studios to have that contract, to pay them that money, and for those actors to actually get that money in return. However, the character of Lieutenant Tyler does not show up until episode 4. Therefore, he would have 3 remaining episodes after everyone else's contracts expire that he has to continue working. And that doesn't happen in Hollywood. Therefore, this guy who plays Tyler must have been in the first 3 episodes in some way, shape, or form in order to get paid for those 15 episodes and in order to have all of the contracts of all of the actors end at the same time in case CBS does not want to renew Star Trek Discovery for another season. Now, with the way that the Klingons are formed and made and have an insane amount of prosthetics on them, it is entirely possible that this wonderful actor who played Lieutenant Tyler could be Volk, and we just don't know it because the only human parts that we can see are like his eyeballs. However, it is also possible that he did part of the Volk acting, such as doing either the body place or doing the voice and not both, so it would be harder for the audience to tell, and another person was brought in order to do the body part and the voice part, therefore making sure that the actor got paid for all 15 episodes, but not enough to give this massive twist away to us Star Trek fans. However, CBS gives us less credit than we really have. You see, if you actually go to Volk's IMDb page, it says that it is played by this name that I can't really pronounce. Now, people have looked around, and I myself have looked around on the internet, and I can only find one actor with that name. And that actor played on a really crappy web series that only did very short 2-minute, 5-minute episodes, and that lasted a year, and it was, oh my god, it was so stupid. Now, there is actually an IMDb page under the same name, just number 2, listed for this actor who was in 5 minutes of this crappy web series, the name of which I'm not even going to mention because you should not go watch it. But if you look at his body size, it does not match up with Volk. Volk is a lot skinnier than this guy. It is entirely possible that this crappy little web series instead made this guy an IMDb page because they knew of the confusion between Volk and the guy allegedly playing him and wanted to bring traffic to their website. So don't fall for it. This guy, yes, this guy does exist. He's only done 5 minutes of a little online series, and I'm more well known than him. So just leave it alone. But the guy who allegedly plays Volk could not be this guy, and does not exist on any sort of social media. I looked them all up, and I could not find an actor with the same name who is not this guy. Therefore, it is entirely possible that Lieutenant Tyler and Volk are the same people, played by the one same actor in some way, shape, and form, due to character reasons as well as due to real life professional this is how Hollywood works reasons. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and if you like this video, go ahead and subscribe. Great videos are coming out every week where I show you it is okay to be a man and a geek at the same time. You can click right here for Section 31 Theory and Discovery, or you can click right here for some more manliness and geekiness. Because after all, if the women don't find you manly, they should at least find you geeky. And until next time, beard on, bro.